So if you've watched any of our other episodes, you know that our friend Duane doesn't like carrying tools or
I was going to tell you.
jumper
I'm
cables
putting jumper
or any
cables
of that
in.
kind of stuff. But no, now he's going to be prepared for the possibility of something going wrong.
I'm going to have just
which
about
never
everything
happens
else.
to Duane.
I'm going to have just about everything else except jumper cables.
Excellent. If your battery dies, I am not
so.
helping you. I'm just going to be like, hey, you got
Told
this, man.
you.
You didn't plan ahead.
And welcome back to the Do or Die Porsche podcast. My name is Duane. I am here with my confidant, JP. How are you today, JP?
I am A-okay. I'm trying to do the job of mental ward and be a co-host. And,
So it'll be way better this time?
I'm screwing it all up, I think.
Just kidding, mental.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah, we do.
It's kind of exciting down here at the container park, JP, I got to tell you, because first of all, it's daytime, which is why, I'm doing this. I'm getting like a brightness happening out there. But we also have the LIB, Life is Beautiful festival. Of course, you've been to it because you live in downtown.
Yeah, I guess for those of you guys who, if you're new to the channel, we record this show in the container park in downtown Las Vegas. If you've ever been to downtown Las Vegas, like the Fremont Street Experience or whatever, we're right down the street from that. And we are in the heart of the Life is Beautiful festival. It's kind of like
I can
Coachella.
Literally see a tent right out that window, one of the concert venues. You're right, it's like Coachella.
People don't really understand what this festival is. Most people think that, okay, they take a lot or a venue or whatever and they hold a big concert. No, they literally take 18 square blocks, all around us. Our little mall here, the container park, is completely surrounded by this festival. All the streets are blocked off. Like, you don't even know the streets are there. I live a block from here, and it's right outside my door in the high rise. We look down at all the concerts. Like, we could just hang out on our deck.
You're actually going to have a concert in your apartment.
In our damn apartment,
in your
if
house,
you want to go to sleep early in my place this weekend,
not going to happen.
Problems, yeah. And we've got Vegas Auto Fest. By the time you guys watch this, all this stuff will have been over.
Transpired.
Yeah, but it's crazy the transformation they do down here. It's like a big, huge art festival. It's like Burning Man in the middle of a city.
And there's not a single band you've heard of if you're over 35.
Yeah, it's totally true. I looked through the lineup trying to figure something out. I'm like, yeah.
I was going to say, were there any bands that you were excited about?
Not one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm sure there's, I haven't parsed through it super closely, but yeah.
9 out of 10 are DJs. So,
well, from your vantage point, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe you guys can see this. So here's the studio, right? We have a slot machine, and then in the background, you can kind of see, right?
Edge of a tent.
Yeah,
thing.
The edge of a tent.
It's not even really a tent. It's a full-on, professional outdoor dome that you would see.
That's the EDM tent. Okay. So it's like the electronic dance festival thing, music stuff. Yeah. So that's the rave tent.
That's where I'll be.
You've got the massive 3-story stage a few blocks away from here. I mean, they've got these, they come down, they bring artists and they paint up all the sides of the buildings and everything. They like Shepherd Ferry. I mean, they get big, huge art.
I noticed that there was a couple murals that were kind of halfway through the painting process.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a very cool one right across the street about corporate greed.
Yeah, so. That is a Shepherd Ferry. Yeah, that one's been there for a while.
Okay.
There was a famous one that was kind of like this rainbow Life is Beautiful on the side of the wall on a building about a block from here, but they just tore the building down like a month before the show. I mean, they create this whole city in like 3 weeks.
City within a city.
Yeah, it really is nuts.
Yeah.
They put fake grass down. I mean, you don't even know where the actual city streets start or end or anything.
That's cool.
Nuts. So anyways,
yep.
Life is Beautiful happening this weekend in downtown Las Vegas, as well as Vegas Auto Fest at the Red Rock Country Club. We are busy as can be getting all that stuff done. But, it doesn't matter. We're still here for you. We're still doing the Die Porsche podcast.
We do what we can. And I'm excited about AutoFest too. I'm long since registered. I'm planning to come down early and get set up. And I'll be there pretty much, the majority of the day on Saturday.
Nice.
So, yeah, it'll be great.
Excellent.
And it will have been great for those, like you said. It was totally awesome.
It was
Yeah.
rad. You got your car got into Luftgekühlt, right?
It did. Yeah. And I teased it a little bit in my story, which kind of, as you know, leaves after 24 hours. But I didn't do like that post because I remember when I got turned down for the Universal Studios Luft 6, was it?
Yeah.
Or 7?
6, yeah.
6. I remember just a lot of my friends were posting their thing, and I was happy for them, of course, but there was a little part of me that was just like, I don't want to be that person who's boasting about it. It felt a little, I don't know. I'm more of a subtle type person. So sometimes, I mean, so I put a quick story out there, and a couple people reached out and congratulated me. And I noticed our mutual friend Rami also got his, I'm assuming the RS.
Yeah. Well, so it's weird. I mean, the year in 2000, well, I don't know what year it was. I can't remember it. The Luft 6, right?
Yeah.
The biggest, hugest one. You were denied. I was denied. And we made those t-shirts, the Luft reject t-shirts.
Yeah.
Because they sent out the notice that said, okay, you're rejected or you're in, right? Well,
kind of thought I would be blacklisted permanently for that.
Yeah, right.
JP
yeah,
did it, so that's why
exactly.
I wasn't.
You got Pat.
They're like, wait, you're part of that? You're denied now.
So that year there was a lot of, we made those t-shirts that said Luft Reject that looked just like the Luftgekühlt logo, and we had some fun with it. And Patrick Long even reached out to me and said, hey, okay, enough.
Yeah, he sent mob guys to your door, I think.
Yeah, sent some big, thick dudes to my door and said, no more t-shirts.
You the t-shirt guy?
So we had some fun with that. But this year with Luft, it's weird because it seems like it's like we called it Luft Reject. This year it's like Luft Ghost. It's like they deliberately didn't put out
people
that you've been rejected. They just said you're in, or they've ghosted us. It's like, what is anything happening? Do we know if our car's in?
And I've noticed that. Well, I don't know.
Bigger BS.
Are they rolling out in phases, like who's getting accepted this time? Because I've noticed very few people are. But I also noticed one of the questions was, have you been in the show before? Which I think is, alluding to the fact that maybe they're bringing in new fresh blood, except for like the, supercars or whatever.
I don't remember that question in the field. Really? It said, I don't remember that.
You don't remember? I could have sworn that was one of the questions. I mean, I did it on my phone as I was dropping off my kid at school. I'm like, I got to register now because tickets are going to be sold out probably in a couple of hours. Yeah. They always go very, very quickly. And sure enough, I think, 4 or 5 of my friends didn't get in. So
yeah, I mean, everyone's scrambling looking for tickets. I don't know if that were a question. The reason why I don't think that was a question is because I feel like I would have remembered that question, because I don't know how I would have answered it. Because Luft 3, technically my car was in the show, but they didn't have the whole submit your car thing. It was just, if you got a ticket and a parking pass, you were in.
Right.
Then Luft 4, that was like, they didn't make it clear. So
technically you've been in, but in the high profile shows you haven't.
Right. So, well, but then Luft 5 at the Lumberyard.
Oh, did you have a car in there?
Not officially, but like on the day of, someone, I can't remember, it was the professor, or maybe it was Jaeger. He like called me up Sunday morning. He's like, hey, bring your car down. I got you a spot in the show. Wow. So I was like, what? So my car was in there.
You did have the wood paneling that you had just put on the side, though. So I mean, it went with the lumber,
like the lumber theme. It's true. I was, we knew our friend Tony Mazzagatti to get his 86 in, because he shows up to our Cars and Cafe with a rack on it and a ladder. He has that big, just like Home Depot ladder that's like longer than the car.
A 40-foot ladder on top of his 911. That
would have been great at the lumberyard.
That would have been perfect.
No, yeah. So this year it's like they're ghosting everyone. I haven't really heard anyone.
They're always very mysterious.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's part of the kind of allure to the show, is this kind of mystery of, first of all, where the venue is.
Yeah.
Who's getting in? What's the theme going to be, or what's kind of the artistic background or themes that are going to be happening. So I think that's part of the excitement. That's part of what makes the show great. Well, it is frustrating from
if you're trying to participate, they charge you $10 or whatever to register to see if your car will be submitted, and then to not send you an email saying, hey, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
that's part.
It's
I mean,
cash
that's the
grab.
thing. They're bringing all the money in, so they're paying people to like. My theory is that they just like take the first if they're bringing in 300 cars,
Mhm.
they just take the first 300 decent cars on the list and then stop looking at anything after that. I'm
I
sure that's
totally
how your
disagree
car
with that.
didn't get in. No, because I mean, if you look at Luft 6 when your car didn't get in, that's why. It's because there were so many submissions
Mhm.
that they just like, okay, we've got enough cars, we have all our friends' cars, because let's be honest, it's all their friends first. And then
And
once they're
that-
done with their friends, then they go through the list and like, okay, the things that really stick out. And they're not going to go through 1,000 submissions and dig through it. They don't have
I'm
time for
thinking that was probably the peak submission
Yeah.
number that they'd ever received, because pre-COVID, the height of popularity in terms of like air-cooled 911s,
Yeah.
you know, we were still kind of coming off the whole Magnus Walker thing, and
Yeah.
it seemed like they were everywhere. The high profile of it being at Universal Studios, but they didn't announce that prior to
entry.
yeah,
they
prior
just-
to entry.
yeah.
But still, I mean, I think it was at the height of its popularity, and then COVID. So now maybe a lot less people are submitting. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's also the pent up demand for it. I mean, it's been 2
That's
years
true.
now. They did have Luft 7 in Indianapolis, which everyone agrees was a cool show, but it really wasn't you and I were both there. It was
Mhm.
cool. It was a good trip. It was a great show if you'd never been to a Luftgekühlt.
Yeah, it felt like a bigger version of the show that you do.
Yeah,
like
right?
there
It
was
a huge Cars and
definitely
Cafe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great venue. It was at the Coca-Cola factory.
Yeah.
It was really cool down there, but it wasn't on the Luft
Yeah, it was not epic.
specialness.
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, okay. But we've
Wasn't
talked
epic.
about that in podcasts
Yeah.
before. But this one, you know, we know that it's at the pier or the port of LA, which is where Luft 4 was. But, you know, everyone's like, why are they having the same space? It's like, well, come on, guys. The port is a big place. They're probably not going to be in the exact same spot. It's probably going to be
Right.
on a different pier or something like that. I mean, there's 50 or
I have the
100
address. I should have looked
piers.
it up.
Yeah.
But it's easy to get in and out of that area. I mean, you can cross over the bridge there into the port area. I mean, there's 3 major freeways that
Sure.
end right there, 710 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
into
getting
Long
out.
Beach.
I mean, whatever. It's a good.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the spot. I have faith that they will do something very cool there. I
Mm-hmm.
suspect though that there's a lot of pent up demand, and that they had as many submissions as ever. Especially
probably
given that the tickets sold out probably faster than ever.
That's a very good point.
And I've been telling everyone, if they don't have tickets, make sure you're on their mailing list, because they usually announce
They do a drop, a
extra
secret.
tickets at the end. Yeah,
Mhm.
and you're not going to get those unless you're
And
on that list.
By the time it hits Instagram, you have minutes
Yeah.
to get on there and get a ticket if there's
Yeah.
extras.
Well, Rami's car, you back to being accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Rami's car, he submitted 2 cars.
Oh, he did.
So he submitted both his 993 RS, and he submitted his ice cream metallic turbo.
I was going to say that would be the other one. If
Right.
I owned Rami's cars, that would be the other one that I would submit.
They sent him the whole "you're in" thing. We want your car, but oddly, it didn't say which one.
Oh, really?
It just said your car's in. He's like, well, which one is it?
Yeah.
We're assuming it's the RS because that would be, of course, the car, right?
I mean, they're both
they're both
extremely
amazing.
special cars, because the ice cream metallic is an early turbo.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 76. That's one of the
No, I think it's a 79. It's
Oh,
not
it's a
that early.
79?
Yeah. So, but
still it's
it's
very,
an actual
very nice.
930, unlike an 87 or something like that. That's a 911 turbo. We're assuming it's the 993 RS. That would make the most sense.
Mhm. There's
but
only like 300 in the world or the US,
I
or
don't know how many there are.
it's
I know
very
there's
low.
fewer. Yeah, it's probably double digits in America.
Mhm.
So that car's beautiful, but the question is it the one they actually wanted? Because each car, they have a plan for every car pretty
Right.
much. So if he shows up with the wrong car, then you'd be like, yeah, but hey, he submitted 2 cars.
I think
I'm
that the outhouses, they're going to park my car over
Yeah, the
by the
shitter's full.
You have to walk through my car to get to the outhouse.
That's
So,
funny because that's where they put my 993 at Luft 5.
Was it?
When I got right by the shitters.
like over there, JP.
His acceptance, like, he didn't even know. I
Mhm.
called him up and I was like, hey, because after you and I spoke, I'm like, did you get an email saying your car's in? He's like, no. He's like, oh, I'm going to check my spam. And sure enough, it was in his spam box.
Oh, good
And
thing
it
for
said
you.
you have 48 hours to respond. And it was well after that.
Oh my goodness.
So he's like, oh, crap. So I wonder how many people out there may have gotten a response from Luftgekühlt and don't know it.
now I'm worried. Did I respond? I must have. Yeah, because I got the
you
ticket.
had to pay, right?
Yeah, I had to pay. Yeah.
So it wasn't working on his mobile device. He was trying to pay and it wouldn't work. So he had to go to his actual computer, and he did ultimately get, he paid the thing.
That goes back to this craziness, this exclusivity, this like deadlines for once. I mean, that's so weird because you paid your $10 to have the chance to get in.
Yeah,
you should have unlimited time. Well, I mean, you're right.
I mean,
they have
got
to plan it.
and all that kind of stuff. But it's
sense.
like it's not. If your email goes into spam folders, you're doing something wrong with your email parameters, the way you're sending it out.
Right.
Because you got to compose it in a way that doesn't look like spam. So I don't know. I went and checked my spam folder and I didn't have anything in it. But it's weird when you go on their little, download your ticket thing. You download it. You can actually download your car in the show ticket. And it gives you a barcode.
Mm-hmm. A QR code.
So, no, it was a barcode.
It was a barcode? Mine was
an
a
actual
QR.
Well, maybe that's because your car's actually in. I got a barcode on just from but that was from the original. Yeah, for the ticket thing. So, I don't know. Did you guys get your car into Luftgekühlt? Did you check your spam box? Let us know just before you hit the subscribe, like, or notification button. And we're going to talk a little bit about more Luft 8 or 20 or whatever it is right after this. Hey guys, I'm super excited to tell you about our sponsor, Guys Customs. That's Guys, GYX _customs. That's how you spell it. Guys Customs bracelets. These things are amazing. Check them out. They're handmade in America, custom bracelets made to match your watch or your car. These things are unbelievable. I have 3 or 4 of them myself. My partner Michael Deeb has a bunch of them. They're pretty addictive once you get one. Each one of them are bespoke. We're talking carbon fiber. We're talking titanium. We're talking stainless steel, glass. There's none of this cheap Chinese garbage that you see a lot of bracelets being made out there. These ones are super high quality. They're made right here in America. When you go to Guys Customs on Instagram, it's about the only place that you can order one of these. When you DM the artist, you're actually reaching the real artist when you DM Guys Customs at Instagram. And she will make you a bracelet made to match that special watch, that special car, or that special person that has a special watch or a special car and they want something really, really cool in their life. They make the most amazing gifts. I get compliments on mine all the time. Everywhere I go, people are like, wow, that's really cool. You can see in the pictures, these beads, the colored beads are PTS. They're paint to sample. So if you have a specific color code for your car, she'll have beads made that are specifically painted to match your car or your watch. It's unbelievable. You got to get one of these Guys Customs bracelets. Check them out. They support us, and we really, really, really want to support them. Guys Customs bracelets.
Welcome back to the Do or Die Porsche podcast. I'm Duane, your host, along with JP. JP, we're talking about Luft. I'm excited, super excited about it, because I got in, as we were saying. Although I have been limping my car along on the original, never rebuilt, 165,000 mile engine, 2.7, that originally had thermal reactors. Okay, so those...
Well, hold on. For the audience, I just got to make sure our friend Michael Deeb knows that you're coming, because he might want to follow you and be ready to repair your car in the event that it explodes.
Absolutely.
He said that. He talked to me.
Okay.
He said,
great.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring a bunch of wrenches. His dad has some tools, and he's there for you.
Perfect.
Except that he doesn't know anything about how to repair
I was thinking,
yeah.
Deeb?
Yeah, Michael Deeb.
But if he has the tools, then I can...
Get up on that microphone, buddy.
I can take care of it. So
yeah, that's true. He's going to bring his dad. His dad is a TV repairman.
Oh.
So clearly he knows what he's doing.
They're very similar. Carburetors and TV tubes.
And air-cooled Porsches.
Yeah.
So your 2.7, that 2.7s are notorious for not being the most reliable engines. Yours had the thermal reactors removed and all that fun stuff. So it's
the
a lot
rudimentary emissions. Basically, they're logs. They're as heavy as a log. They're shaped like a log, and their only reason for being on the car was to basically cook the exhaust, which in turn cooked the whole bottom of the magnesium engine, which magnesium's softer than aluminum or whatever. So these cases had a tendency to fall apart and blow up and all that. So
cracked head studs if you ever whenever you try to take the valve cover off and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't as much broken head studs as it is pulled because it was so soft. I've seen actually more broken head studs on 3.0 and than I have on 2.7s.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's just what I've seen, but
okay, so you're concerned about
it's just it leaks a lot of oil.
So just bring more oil.
Yeah.
I mean, right? That's the thing about 911s. That's one of the, people always ask what's so great about old school 911s, and this audience, everyone knows, but they rarely ever full blown fail. They'll have issues of all kinds, and
I will say that my car doesn't smoke, which is usually the problem with leaky oil, is it leaks right onto the headers or the heat exchangers.
Yeah.
And
do you have heat exchangers?
A cloud of smoke. I do. Okay, I have SSI.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have
Luckily,
SSIs
the leak
with
is behind
heat exchangers.
that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So do you have headers though?
They're kind of the same thing. So the headers are basically, I mean, in a traditional sense, they're just pipes that come off the engine and go to the muffler.
Right.
But SSI are pipes that come off the engine, surrounded by a heat box. Right. So technically they're a heat exchanger. However, they're still headers inside the heat boxes. Yeah. So I mean, they could be either.
Yeah.
But
so just bring a gallon of oil, and if it starts leaking, just pour it in as fast as you can as it can come out.
I will indeed. I mean, it doesn't leak it's just if I park for 5 hours, there's going to be you'll know I've been there. Let's put it that way.
So if you've watched any of our other episodes, you know that our friend Duane doesn't like carrying tools. Or
I was going to tell you,
I'm putting jumper cables any of that in. Kind of stuff. But no, now he's going to be prepared for the possibility of something going wrong.
I'm going to have just about everything else.
To Duane.
I'm going to have just about everything else except jumper cables.
Excellent. If your battery dies, I am not helping you. I'm just going to be like, hey, you got this, man. You didn't plan ahead. Sucker. You're going to be on the side of the road on Newcomb's Ranch, and everyone's, that's a guy that doesn't think you should have
Newcomb's Ranch is uphill, so I'll have no problem just push starting.
Down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right into second.
Boom. He'll be there. Yeah. So you'll make it. You're fine.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm just being a little precious about it.
We've got a house we're renting. That's going to be kind of the cool house.
The address is down below in the description.
Yeah,
come on
show
by.
Up. We got couches. Just hang out if you don't have a place to stay. So Friday is Newcomb's Ranch. You're going to go to the Breakfast Club the back way because you're not going to leave until Friday morning, right?
I am. I'm going to leave probably like 3 or 4 a.m. because I'm already up. I tend to get up at like 4 a.m.
Okay.
And I might as well get on the road, and I'm going to hit the backside and meet you guys there like 8 o'clock.
Nice. Well, we'll probably see you there.
Yeah.
And then Friday, who knows what happens. Friday night is usually kind of like a variable. Everybody goes to dinner or does something, or maybe we'll have a party at the house. And then Saturday morning will be the Professor Run. And apparently Patrick Long has reached out to Ben, the Professor.
You were saying that.
And is going to send some people that way, which I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about that. I like the Professor Run. The Professor Run usually has a few too many cars for my taste for a run. So this is only going to make it worse. But hey, it's a big profile. It's a feather in the cap for our friend Ben the Professor. So that's great. And I'm sure it's going to be a good time no matter what. So that'll be Saturday morning. That'll take, usually what he does like a 2-phase thing. He'll do the drive before lunch and then the drive after lunch. So you'll have all the cars will do the drive till lunch, and then like 90% of them split off after that and go back to town.
That's what I'd like to do. Is
and then there's but the second half is usually the better drive. Fewer cars and just better roads. So, but we'll see what he has planned, and then there's probably going to be a big party at his place that night.
Ooh la la!
Ooh la la! That'll probably be the big Luftgekühlt party of the season.
Good times.
And then hangover for Sunday morning. And if your car is in, you have to be there when? At 7 o'clock?
I think it's 8.
Wow.
But I was thinking, I'm glad that Rami is going to stay with us because his car's better than mine. So if anyone wants to steal cars, then they'll steal his first. Although mine's easier to steal.
Well, let's be honest. There is a garage at the house that we rented, and there's 2 spots. My car will be in one of them. Rami's will be in the other, and yours is going to be outside in the driveway. So people will have more access to yours.
It's a LA driveway, so it's always like this, and then it meets up with the street like this.
Right.
So you have to come in
especially in Mount Washington, everything's crazy.
Yeah.
Getting to Ben's house is the worst. We're Ubering there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slightly concerned about Rami's car because registration issues and stuff like that. So
gray market.
Yeah, it's that'll be interesting. You got that in from Europe. But all right, guys, what are your plans for Luftgekühlt? Are you ready? Is your car in? Let us know in the description or in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Come and find us. We don't have any swag this year. We're not giving out. We don't have Luft Reject t-shirts. But we'll be there. We'll be at all the events. Tell us, is there something that we don't know? Is there an event going on that we don't know? I know there's the Yanks Air Museum thing is going on Saturday morning.
I had not heard of that.
Yeah, that's going to be at the airfield.
The
guys from Target Baja or Target California, TRE guys, they're setting that up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be pretty epic over in Chino, but that's the same time as the Professor run.
Right.
Now, I think it's all day though, so it's possible that maybe if you break off after lunch.
I did that for 6. I kind of came back and went to Esposito's.
Okay, yeah.
But you can't say that word anymore, unfortunately.
Do not go to Esposito's.
No.
Esposito's is a big old scam if you haven't heard yet. The owner of that establishment has effed people over. Many of our friends have been ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day, he did solid. John did great.
He was good, but his daughter took over and is just an absolute POS. And it sucks because she's in like one of the episodes of my television show, which we can't really change because it's on TV. So people think I endorse them. For the record, we do not.
Gotcha.
But that's that. But we do endorse, inclusiveness and all that kind of stuff. And, hey, have a good time.
I saw Gunther Works is doing a thing too, and I've always kind of wanted to see where it all happens, where they build the cars. So I'd like to do that, but I don't know when it is.
There was, remember back to Luft 6, there was that kind of like impromptu car show that just happened on the side of the road up on
that was awesome.
Angeles Crest, and the Gunther Works car just rolled in, and the Jalopnik guys were there, and everybody was there. It was great. And there's also, from what I understand, a pre-Luft roll-in at Peterson at the museum in the morning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's probably more significant for people who don't have cars that are in the show.
Like we did Auto House one time, or Auto Kennel. Sorry,
Auto Kennel. Okay, yeah,
that was
probably
fun.
have a thing on Saturday.
I think that was Friday morning.
Benton's will probably. I mean, everybody's Emery. I haven't heard directly if Emery's doing anything, but he's usually pretty involved with Luft itself. So I'd be surprised if he's doing an open house. That would be a lot of work for those guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you guys at Luftgekühlt, or Luft Ghost, as I like to say, because I'm just a reject. Apparently, my partner is much cooler.
Information
than
is
I
scarce.
am.
I am. That's a given.